Hey, what's happening everyone? Journeyman here, and welcome back to my FIFA 18 career mode with Coventry City. This is episode 9 and the start of the transfer window. So here we go. Obviously, we're going to try and reshape the squad and reframe them basically from top to bottom. I've decided that we need a couple of fresh faces in there. Basically, let's take a look at the squad hub and let's go over some of those players I'm thinking about moving on. So obviously, we have 3 really good goalkeepers right now. LeBont contract only runs at the end of the year. I'm not going to renew it. He's on far too much wages, and not to mention the guy's 39 years old. He's likely to retire in the near future. With that in mind, Lee Burge, I'm thinking about moving him on. I put him on the transfer list. Let's see what kind of offers we get for him. He's only 24 years old. Then we have obviously O'Brien as well. For some reason, we can't move on. I think because we just recently signed him in real life, so we can't move him on. But nevertheless, we've got 2 decent goalkeepers in there and a solid goalkeeper in the youth academy, so we're looking to move one of those keepers on. LeBont will definitely leave at the end of the season, and then we'll try and maybe bring in another young but promising goalkeeper. So at the back, Evans. All right, so Dion Evans. This guy has got a lot of potential. He's only 21 years old, but the problem is he's stuck behind Jack Grimmer. And also, his contract does expire in 6 months' time, so we've got to do something with him. He's very unhappy right now, which means he's likely to not agree to sign a new deal with us, which means I'm going to have to either play him more games or sell him now. So that's a bit of a dilemma for me. I'm going to think about that going forward, because I do really like the guy. I think he's a very talented right back, and honestly, I think that given time, he could be better than Grimmer. But we'll have to see on that one. Again, it's going to be a big part of it's going to be if I'm able to get him to sign a new contract in this transfer window or I'm not. I'm going to have to sell him. Next up, Jack Grimmer, obviously good player. Same kind of situation with Evans. Now, his contract does last for a while yet. He just signed a new deal with the club, and honestly, I would prefer to move him on and play Kelly Evans instead. No particular reason. Both had a really good season so far. Grimmer's a good player, but I feel like Kelly Evans just has that bit more potential. Other players, all right, Tom Davis. Unfortunately, I'm trying to move him on as quickly as I can, but I'm not allowed to right now. As you can see, I can't transfer list him, can't loan list him, can't do anything with him. So right now, he's kind of stuck there doing nothing. 25 years old, just wasting a squad spot and wasting money on the wages. Same for Dominic Hyam as well. Both talented individuals, but respectively. But because of signing the Conte and the form of McDonald and Willis, I've just kind of left there to sit and rot in the reserves, which is kind of sad, really, because I could get some pretty decent money for those 2 players. Left back, Haynes obviously is number 1 choice right back for left back right now. We'll have to see going forward if that might change. He has improved this season. He's +3 overall from when he started. Chris Campbell, I've transfer listed. The guy's garbage. I'm not going to play him. I tried to use him in one of the games and he was absolutely atrocious, so here going to move him on. Midfield, Doyle's definitely, his contract ends at the end of the season. I definitely will not be renewing him. He's too slow. He's 36 years old. He's not going to obviously improve anymore, so I'm definitely going to move him on. He's on big wages as well, so keen to move him on. Jody Jones, this is a player I'm going to try and build around. I feel like this guy could be a really, really good player in the future, and I think, as you can see, he's already +3 for the year, and he's only 20 years old, can play on either flank. Very, very talented player, very important player for the team as well. Then we have Vicente. Vicente is 31. Now, this is a bit of a dilemma for me as well, because Vicente did join the club last summer, which means I can't move him on this year. But I'm thinking about moving on from it in the summer, just because he hasn't really got the pace. He got a lot of key goals for us, and he's really good at crossing the ball and just a very solid creative player. But going forward, he's not the type of player I want at my club in the long scheme of things. So he'll remain in the team for the rest of the year. But after that, I think we'll move on for him. Alright, so Ben Stevenson, just like Jody Jones, key player for the side I'm going to try and build around. So basically you got Jones and Stevenson there and Willis at the back. If I can build around those 3 players, we should have a really, really good, solid team for years to come. Then we have Liam Kelly, who's actually come back into the side and been very, very impressive. Despite his lack of pace, Liam Kelly is actually a very, very good holding midfielder for this level. So I'm looking to get him some more game time in the second half of the season. Callum Maycock, transfer listed. He can get the hell out of here. Carl Reed, I've actually decided to transfer list. His contract expires in 6 months, so we'll pretty much get whatever we can for him. Reason being is that, honestly, I've just been very disappointed with him. His pace is really good, but everything else is kind of mediocre to average, and I feel like I could use that left midfield spot to maybe play Jody Jones and play Vicente more, or maybe I can bring in Andre Dominguez from the youth team. Basically, he's just taking up a lot of money, and honestly, he's not that great of a talent, so I'm trying to move on from him. Then you have Kyle Finn, who started to come into the team a little bit more over the last couple of weeks. Again, very talented young player. He's only 19 years old, +2 overall already. He could be turned into a very, very solid very solid rotation player for us in the future. So I'll see how he develops in time. But for now, he'll probably play a little bit more if we do end up selling Kyle Reed. Alright, so Antonio Andrea. Now, he's very unhappy with the club right now because he wasn't getting a lot of game time, and I've actually moved him up top. You'll see my new formation. Well, no formation, but a new tactic in a second, and he plays a huge, huge part of that, and so far he's got 2 goals in 2 games for us in that new role. So hopefully he'll play a lot more, and that morale will definitely improve. Bevan. Now, this is a bit of a dilemma for me too, because Bevan contract expires in 6 months' time, which means we got to decide what we want to do with him now. I've either got to re-sign him, because right now he's on 10,000 a week, which is a lot for us. So I've got to try and re-sign him on a cheaper deal, because he is 33 and he is starting to decline in ability. But then again, he is our top scorer and probably most crucial player in the team for this season. So decisions are going to have to be made about him. And then with Mark McNulty, 25 years old, come back in the team now after a spell of injuries. Doing very well, providing good rotation option from the bench. He could potentially replace Bevan in the future. But again, his consistency in form is going to have to improve for me to see that. Maximilian Biamu, I'm trying to move him on as quickly as I can. He is transfer listed. 27 years old, he's 56 overall, which is pretty poor. And Kwame Thomas, we know, is out for the rest of the year. His contract expires in 6 months. I'll be looking to get him a new deal. He's only 22 years old, and I think I could see him turning into potentially a 68-70 striker. We'll have to see if that plays out. But I will try and re-sign him on a cheap deal if I can. And then players going out, actually. Ponticelli went to Accrington on loan for the rest of the year. That'd be good for him to get some first-team football. Because he did play well when he came into the squad. But again, he wasn't getting many opportunities with the likes of McNulty, Bevan, and now Andrea up top ahead of him. So looking at Transfer Hub, so these are the players that I'm trying to bring in right now. I'm going to take a look at Cyprian Loandiak. I'm going to try and get some report on these players before I sign them. Connor Chaplin is definitely not going to come to us. We can't afford him. But this is a player that I really want to sign. His name is Reece Brown. He plays for Forest Green Rovers. He can play anywhere across the midfield and an attacking midfielder. 66 overall, 21-year-old player. This guy is a special talent. I'm going to try and bring him in if I possibly can. He's only recently joined the club, and apparently he won't move again. But I'll be persistent, and this is a player if I can't sign in the January transfer window, will be one I'm signing in the summer. Alright, and then was another recommendation, Rico Henry, which I am scouting right now. I may be trying to bring in another left back, obviously, if Canwell leaves, and then I decided to move on from Haynes. But Rico Henry is a player that was highly recommended to me, so I'm going to scout him, and then we'll see what kind of talent he is and see if he's willing to come to us, maybe on loan or maybe on a full transfer, who knows. Alright, transfer to going at the club. Now, that was actually one sale so far, and that's going to be the sale of Devon Kelly Evans. We sold him to Stevenage for £240,000. He wasn't getting a lot of games at left midfield, and I did think about keeping him because I was going to move on from Carl Reed, but by the time that I thought about doing that, I already agreed to sell him. Honestly, I wasn't overly impressed when I did see him play anyway, so I feel like we could do better. But anyways, get £240,000 for him really wasn't that bad of a business. Now, I spoke briefly about maybe bringing up Andre Dominguez. Obviously, he's been in the youth team for the longest amount of time. He was our first youth signing, and he's still got a potential of 77 to 83, which doesn't sound that great. But the guy does have some really nice little attributes. The only thing that's disappointing for him is his speed. He's not very quick, but agility's good. Everything else is very solid, and he can definitely provide a rotation option on the wing if we want to bring him up in the very near future. Other players to keep on is going to be Rocky Alvarez. He's actually really impressed me thus far in training. He's grown leaps and bounds, and his potential is only 72 to 88, which still isn't bad. But acceleration is much quicker than Dominguez, but he does lack. He's got decent ball control at 70. Dribbling's 58. That's something you can definitely grow and improve on. Apart from that, a really promising looking player. He may get a look in the very near future. Another player that's going to maybe get some game time this year is going to be Tom Kraus. He's 54 overall, 17 years old, potential of a 90 overall. This guy's got speed to burn, 76 acceleration, 71 sprint speed, agility 73, good, decent amount of strength. What he does lack though is technical ability. That's something I am working with him in training to try and improve, just because he does have so much athleticism and potential. I feel like this guy could make a huge impact for us in the very near future. Alright, last but not least, Fabio Medeiros. Basically, he is honestly, he's 18 years old, so we've got to decide what we want to do with him. I'm probably going to bring him up to the first team just because we now, after losing Thomas the year, and sending Ponticelli out on loan. I feel like we need to add another striker to the team, and this is one I can do really quickly. He's only 52 overall. He's probably not get that much game time, and honestly, his attributes really aren't that good. Finishing a 49, curve of 62. Speed is really good though, so he's a very, very quick player. Is only a potential 72 to 76 now, which is very, very disappointing because it was a high potential player coming into the club, and unfortunately he hasn't really realized that. So I'll bring him into the first team in the very near future, and we'll see what kind of impact he can make if he gets any game time at all. Alright, so with all those moves, transfers, and things like that, this is how our current team looks. This is the best team we have available right now. What I've done, tactically wise, is I've just adjusted some of the team instructions. So Hamad is going to be, basically, he's going to be the holding midfielder out of the two. Stevenson's going to bomb forward. And then Hamad is going to sit a little deeper. Andrea herself is actually playing as a false 9. If you don't know what a false 9 is, basically it's a player that drops back into the hole between midfield and attack to create opportunities. So far, obviously, him being an attacking central midfielder and a very creative one, he's finding little pockets of space, and that's why I find him most effective. So we get him, obviously, and he scored a couple of goals in the last couple of games, as you can see from you'll see from the highlights in a few moments' time. But he's actually really, really improved in that role, and he's formed a decent partnership with Bevan up top. Alright, so first game since the last episode was a 3-1 victory over Port Vale. We took the lead from an early goal from Tony Andrea in the new formation and new style of football, and it was a good little finish into the back of the net. Tom Pope then equalised for Port Vale into the second half, but we reacted very positively. Mark McNulty getting a tap in from about the penalty spot, and then followed up with a wonderful team goal with Jody Jones whipped the ball into the back post. Cargo knocked it down, and the first time finish from Stuart Bevan goes a very comfortable 3-1 victory. Next was a 2-0 victory up against Carlisle United. Tony Andrea getting a goal for 2 games in a row now. Great finish there. And then we followed up to make it 2-0. Great one from Peter Vicente getting to the byline, just put on the back, and a very easy tap in for Stuart Bevan. Now, Carlisle did get a late consolation goal that made the game a little bit interesting towards the end. But all in all, it was a very, very comfortable win for us. Alright, so with those results, we climb into the 3rd position of the table now, only 1 point behind leaders Exeter and Notts County in 2nd place respectively. We're up against Chesterfield today, who are currently locked in a mid-table battle. As you can see, they're down there in 14th place with 34 points totaled up. So things are starting to look in an upward direction for us, and I'm looking to try and build momentum from those 2 wins and maintain our spot in the automatic promotion. Alright, so going to today's game, as you can see, players are a little bit tired. I'm not going to do any squad rotation today. However, what I will be doing in the future is trying to bring in some of your younger talent to get some rotation in there. You will notice that Kelly Evans is starting right back today ahead of Garima. That decision I made a while ago, he was going to get some more game time, so I'm basically going to rotate those 2 players out, and it's Kelly Evans' turn today. Haynes at left back with Conte instead of McDonald. Willis in midfield of Carl Reed, Stevenson, Hamad, and Jody Jones on right wing. Bevan and Andrea obviously leading the line. Alright, so here we go, up against Chesterfield at home at the Ricoh Arena. Obviously we got 2 wins in a row. Let's try and make it 3. Oh, here's a chance for Chesterfield, and Willis has absolutely hacked him down at the edge of the area. Lucky not to get red card here, but here's a dangerous free kick opportunity. Sinnott's going to stand over the ball. He lays it off, and that's a great shot, and what a save that is from Bogdan Lebon in goal. He's come up big for us a couple of times this season with some absolute blinding saves, and that was right up there. There's another chance for Chesterfield, and off the underside of the post. A little bit lucky there. Again, they've been carving us open today. It's been all Chesterfield thus far. There's another chance for Chesterfield, and they make it 1-0. Well, that wasn't really against the run of play. They were absolutely all over us, and they made us pay with a decent build-up play and a very, very easy finish in the top corner of the net for Robbie Weir. There's Andrea trying to break away from his defender. Come with the legs. He's going to lay it across for Bevan. There it is. 1-1 on the eve of the halftime whistle. And a great finish there from Stuart Bevan. The Bevan Andrea linking up once again to create a wonderful, wonderful goal. Andrea streaking away past the defender, decided to hold the ball up and wait for the run of Bevan. Finds him beautifully, and Bevan wasn't going to miss from there. Great finish. 1-1. Alright, so with that late goal, it finished 1-1 now in the first half. Obviously, some of the players look a little tired. A couple of suggested substitutions there, so I should take Stevenson off. He apparently seems to be struggling in midfield, but as you notice, a lot of player stamina on the yellow, which isn't good news. We do have Kelly on the bench, which gives us a little bit more strength in there. We do lose a lot of athleticism with Stevenson, but Kelly definitely helps us on the defensive end of things. Oh, great cross! Oh, what a save that was! Andrea, I think that was, got on the end of the cross, but he couldn't capitalise from 2 yards out. That was an unbelievable save. Here's Andrea again, though, looking to turn his defender. Can't get away from him. Chesterfield going to clear the ball and maybe hit us on the counter-attack if we're not careful. Here's Brewster on the ball, lays it outside to kill it. Oh no, the ball's going to the byline here. He grounds Conte, pulls it back, and here's a chance for Chesterfield, and he puts it harmlessly wide and over the goal. And he rounds Conte here, Sinnott for Chesterfield, and he puts it wide of the post. Mistake there from Jordan Willis. Gave the opportunity to Chesterfield to make it 2-1, but he couldn't capitalise, and we got off the hook. Now Grelican ball there to Bevan, he's now through on goal. Has he the strength to hold off? He does. Shoots across the keeper. Oh, good save. Ball's going to whip in. He finds the runner Willis at near post, but defended as well. There's a chance for Kelly. Oh, off the post. Unlucky there from Kelly. That was a good opportunity to make it 2-1. Oh, here's Bevan though. He's got a chance to win it now. He's through on goal. Shoots and oh, off the post. Almost another late winner there for Stuart Bevan. Damn it. Great effort there as well. That was a really, really good chance. Chances for us have been few and far between in this game, and that was a good opportunity to win it late on. There's a chance for Chesterfield to win it later on here. Grimley gets beat. The ball found its way in the box. That's a good tackle from Jody Jones. He can't get it clear though, and that's a shot. Oh, what a save. LeBont at the end, saving our asses once again. And that's a full-time whistle there. Almost a late winner there for Chesterfield, but overall a 1-1 draw. They dominated the first half, but lucky enough Bevan got a goal late on to equalise. Disappointing to only draw 1-1 against this team. It's a team I felt like we could have beaten. But there you have it. Finished 1-1. Not a terrible result, but at the same time not a good one either. Alright, so we have a couple. Oh, we got a youth squad update here. Let's go take a look, see if we found anyone of any use to us. Alright, this guy looks pretty good. Dennis Bonazza, goalkeeper, potential of 94 overall. We'll definitely sign him. Anyone else? I'm mainly looking for people in their 90s potential-wise, potentially late 80s too. Obviously, mainly looking for like athleticism, speed, things like that. Those are important to have, in my opinion. So I can't find anyone else there. Let's move on to the next one. Which is going to be Nunez, who is in Spain right now. Let's see if we can find anyone here. Maybe Julio Barros. He looks like he might be useful. Let's go ahead and sign this player. Alright, there you go, perfect. We'll scout them further. And let's go take a look at those individuals real quick. Alright, so Barros, who is a centre forward. Overall of 47 right now, potential of 68 to 92. He's got very well-rounded attributes. Strength is really good. Aggression 80, sprint speed 72. That's solid. Technically not very good yet, but he's only 15 years old, so he could do a ton of growing. He could be a really, really good player in the future. Let's take a look at Moraes, the Brazilian goalkeeper. 43 overall right now, potential of 72 to 94. Got a lot of work to do before he's ready to play first-team football. Alright, it's got some bad news here. Now, I have tried to re-sign Jordan Willis' contract. However, Millwall have come in for an offer for him. So I'm going to have to try and move things along there and get him to re-sign, because he is a very, very important player for us. Let's go ahead and try and do that now. Let's try and do a contract negotiation. We got to try and re-sign this guy at all cost. Absolute UI, crucial member of the team. Now and going forward. And now he wants only wants a 1-year deal. See, I can't I don't have to counter that. I want to sign at least a 2-year. Let's do a 3-year. Let's be kind of greedy. Let's see if we can get him to commit to us for 3 years. No, he's only looking for a 1-year deal. Alright, let's try 2 years. Because I can't let him go on just a 1-year deal. I can't do this every single year. Alright, so he's happy with a 2-year deal. That works for him. I don't want a release clause in his contract. Alright, and he wants £8,500 a week, so that's a hell of a boost. That's £5,000 more, and 77,000 and 89,000 after 10 appearances. That is a lot of money. So what I'm going to do, let's edit the wage, shall we? I don't want to pay him that much money. Alright, so instead of 8,500, we're going to go for 6,000. And I'm okay with the sign-in bonus, that's whatever to me. Let's try 7, let's try that. 6,000, that's still a hell of a boost, okay. Let's see what they have to say. And they're still not hoping for, they want 8,300 in wages now. So they are determined to get the most out of me as I can. Let's counter, edit wage, okay. Alright, they want 8,300. Let's do, we did 6,000 last time around, let's do 7,300. I'm probably overpaying for him here. But again, he's a very important player to my team, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode. Alright, there you go. Awesome. So they agreed to sign him for that. Alright, so 7,800 now. Okay. 7,800. It's a bit better than what it was. Still over double what he's getting paid now. I'm going to accept. I need him to stay. I can't lose him to Millwall. Hopefully he won't agree the Millwall deal, but we'll have to see what happens. And we have another piece of transfer news too. Jody Jones offer what came in from Burton for £980,000. That is far too below his potential there. He's at least a £1.5 to £2 million player. I'm going to reject the offer flat out. I do not want him to leave. Alright, and that's about going to wrap up this episode. Run out of time for today. However, we're going to play Cambridge up next in the next episode, which will be tomorrow, and obviously we'll continue the transfer window action. Obviously, a little bit more going out of the club than in the club right now. I am still looking to try and sign some of the players that I'm keeping an eye on, such as like Rico Henry, and I really want to sign Reece Brown. A few attempts have been rejected already. We'll just have to keep being persistent and take it from there. Obviously going out of the club, I'm still trying to sell some players. Jordan Willis, we try to get him to sign a new deal. We'll try and make that happen as quickly as possible. Right now we have no wage budget and very little transfer budget, so we're going to have to try and be creative on players coming in and out. But we are currently 4th in the table after that disappointing 1-1 draw against Chesterfield. Then we're up against what was it, Cambridge. They are currently, let's go check that out real quick. Cambridge United are currently 7th in the table, so it should be one hell of a game. That'll be tomorrow's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed this series so far. If you did, remember to drop a like on the video. If you want to see more videos by me, remember to hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next part. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.